Hello everybody, hello, welcome to my channel. My name is Glovely Kaimbe. If this is your first time, please don't forget to subscribe in the box down below. It is really important. Guys, I'm making this video from the office, so you can see the lighting behind me is not as good as it's supposed to be. That a girl's gotta do what a girl's gotta do. I hope that you're all having a blessed day, or by the time you're watching this, you're having a productive day, a very productive one at that. Um, Yesterday was the 22nd, sorry, of June, and it marks 3 years since we lost one of our very close family member, and 2019 was a year that I actually experienced grief. I would say for the first time in my life, where I lost two close family members on both my parents' side, my mom and my dad's side. And these people were not distant members, they were very, very, very close. So I wanted to do a part like a series or something. I'm going to let you know how it goes. If I'll get someone that can speak to me about grief and how they've overcome grief, because for me, I would say that there's no perfect way on how to experience to overcome grief. We all deal with grief differently. I remember when when I lost a first family member, like when we lost our first family member, it was really hard. I remember it came like a shock, and I was like, how is this how it feels to lose a loved one? It was really, really, really painful because it's not something that we expected. We were trusting God, we were praying, we were trusting God for healing. We were trusting God that He was going to do it, because you know, when God has always done whatever you prayed for, you're like, yeah, God is going to do it. God is going to heal her. We were engaging in prayers and fasting and special programs and whatever. And I remember at the time I was supposed to speak to her, to my aunt, which is the first family member that passed away at that time. I was supposed to speak to my aunt, and something told me, no, you still have time. You're gonna speak to her. Just let her get better, let her get a bit strong. So I took my time. I took my time, and I told myself I'm gonna speak to her sometime later. And let's say 2 or 3 days later, I get a call to say that she's no more. I don't know how um I don't know how to describe how I felt at that time, because you know, like, death is, it's not the fact that the person is dead that hurts. It's the separation that hurts. The fact that you will never hear from them again. The fact that you will never get to speak to them again. They will never send you that text message again. So it is something that we all deal with in different ways. So I was devastated. Like, I was devastated, and I would say I don't know how to, up till that point I did not know how to act or how to deal with the loss of a loved one. And like I said, it was my first time when it happening, when I'm an adult, when I'm able to understand what it means to lose a loved one. So it was very painful, very, very painful at that. So let me fast forward to June. So that was February 2019, and then June 2019, on the 22nd of June, I remember I was at work, and then I had this, because I used to teach English, like online classes and stuff. So there was a moment where I got like 1 hour of break, and something prompted me to go and read to go and listen to a preaching by Lisa Harper. I don't know if you guys know Lisa H. Harper. I'm gonna try and put a name down here in the description box, by the grace of God, if I remember. But yes, Lisa Harper. I was listening to a preaching that that speaks about when the unexpected happens. For me, while listening to that preaching, it was like I was being comforted for the loss of my aunt that I was still dealing with. And Many people do not understand the things I did after the death of my aunt. It's like I wanted to keep busy. I wanted to be preoccupied. I wanted to do something that will take me away from what just happened. I don't know how that's how you also deal with grief, where you feel like you need to disengage or you need to keep yourself too busy so that you don't get to feel the pain, you don't get to feel the hurt. So that is one of the things that I did. I became very, very, very. I think that's the time I even started working. I got a job, so I was working so hard. I did not want to even think of her for a minute because the thought of her not being around hurts the most. And it was very painful. So yes, I was listening to this preaching, and then it speaks about when whatever you prayed for does not come the way you expected it to pray. And she also said about what if the time, like certain things can happen at the time when you least expect them, but you need to know that God sometimes prepares you for what's going to happen. You just need to be very sensitive. Sometimes God will prepare you for the grief. God will prepare you for that disappointment. God will prepare you uh, 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 for that pain. But because we are so absent spiritually, we are not engaging the way we are supposed to engage, we tend to lose the mark. Because remember, the Bible tells us that nothing is hidden from God under the sun. With that being said, it means even in the spiritual, nothing is hidden from God. And the Bible tells us that even though we walk through the valley of the shadow of death is with you. So even when you walk through the valley of the shadow of grief, of sickness, of pain, God is with you. God walks with you. It will never It will never leave you. It will never forsake you. It will never let you fall. So even before you go through the grief, you go through the pain, you go through the sickness, God had prepared you. You when when you are equipped spiritually, God will prepare you with the type of strength that you need to get through that moment. So I listened to that preaching. I listened to it and I listened. I was like, after that, I started feeling, like nervous. Like I could feel this heavy feeling within me. And then like a very heavy feeling. And then a few minutes later, I get a text from one of my uncles that says, well, we just received news that which one of our younger uncles passed on, and it was like sudden death. So it was like an accident. He went to play with his buddies, and then he had like a very small accident somewhere, and then he died on the spot or something. It was like a space of 4 months. And then you get news that another family member has departed, someone close. As you can see, I still have a bit of tears in my eyes when I think of it because, like I said, grief, it's something that you don't just, it's something that happens gradually. So allow yourself to feel the emotion, allow yourself to cry every once in a while when you miss your loved ones. It's not a sin. Of course, even if you believe that they're with the Lord, they're with Master Jesus, wherever they are, allow yourself to grieve when needed. Allow yourself to feel it when needed. So yes, I felt like, but I was shocked, yes, but somehow the Lord prepared me for it, for that. It was such a coincidence that I had to listen to that preaching, to that word of encouragement 10 minutes before I received the message. And each time when it's on the 24th of February, when it's on the 22nd of June, my mind takes me back to that day. My mind takes me back to those feelings again. But you know what? For those who are in Christ, we do not mourn in despair, we mourn in hope. And one thing that I know about heaven is that heaven is such a beautiful place. If my aunt could show me where she is, because she was a woman that feared the Lord, and we believe that she went at God's time. If she could show me where she is, I don't think I would want to be on this earth. And I've already shared with you that God has granted me the grace to visit heaven. God has granted me the grace once to visit heaven. I've seen how heaven is beautiful, how the streets are made of gold, and how the angels choir sing a song, how the grass is green, the green of the grass is green and shiny. I don't know how to explain the flowers. They shine differently. They are, the sun shines, everything is just beautiful. So I long to be there. I long to go there someday. I long to be with Master Jesus one day when my time comes. So yes, whatever you do to deal with your grief, remember you don't grieve in despair. You grieve in hope. And it does not mean that when you allow yourself to grieve that you want to let go of them. No, they will always be a part of us. No matter what, they will always be a part of us. In the good times and the hard times, they will always be a part of us. So do not lose hope. If you have just lost a loved one, remember, as long as you can still feel their love, as long as you can still feel their warmth, they will always be with you. And even when there are days where I forget about my aunt, I forget about her. But that does not mean that she's no longer a part of me. She will always be a part of me. So I want to speak to you that feels like, okay, because I'm a Christian or because I'm this, I cannot grieve. You can grieve. Grieve. Allow yourself to grieve. Allow yourself to cry sometimes. Allow yourself to be vulnerable. There is nothing with being vulnerable. It is only wrong when you're not in tune, you're not in touch with your feelings, you're not in touch with your emotions. Allow yourself to feel the emotions, allow yourself to feel the grief so that you can grieve properly, so that you can be okay. So yes, some days will be better than others, but God is still God. We believe that nothing happens to us without God allowing it. And sometimes we will pray for something, but God will do as He pleases. Like in the case of my aunt, she was a God-fearing woman. After her last day, she believed in God. She prayed. She trusted God to do something in her life. But God had His plans. And He took her when we least expected it. So sometimes you make prayers, they will not always turn the way you want them. God will choose to do what He wants to do. He will choose to do what is best because He knows what is best for us. And He knew it is best for Him to take my uncle at that time. He knew it is best for Him to take my aunt at that time. I don't know, whoever you have lost recently, God's time, God did everything according to His time. And even if you feel like it was too soon, even if you feel like this shouldn't have happened now, remember, nothing happens by mistake. You are, even if you feel like it's too soon, you are still going according to God's timeline. God allowed you, God wanted you to experience that. It's part of the journey, the grief, the pain, the disappointment. It is true, we only want to speak about the good things, but grief, disappointment, pain can also be part of those things. So yes, guys, remain blessed. I feel like I'm blabbing a lot. Yes, so whatever you're going through, God has already prepared you for it. You must just trust Him, believe Him, that He can carry you through it. And may God bless you. I think this is one of the most vulnerable videos I've done, but God bless you and keep you, and till next time.